Am I my own twin flame? Maybe you have heard about that. Maybe you have read that in Facebook groups. I'm going to answer this question in this video. And to make it short, the answer is kind of yes. But don't worry. That does not mean that your person is not important or is not connected to you. Make sure you watch this video until the end. As many of you know, I have been coaching people in soul connections for, almost 16 years now. By the time you watch this video, probably almost 17 years. And I gathered a lot of information and found red patterns. But then, of course, there's also my own journey and a lot of research and channeling that I did about this topic. I mean, I am a medium and I have been channeling spirits since my early 20s. So I gathered a lot of information. But since I recently is a couple of years back, stumbled upon the teachings of Neville Goddard that may have been, I'm not sure, 2.5 years ago, approximately. And his teachings about everyone is you pushed out. That slowly started to change my perception about twin flames. And it is something that is still working within me. What I have realized is that, yes, everyone is you pushed out. Your twin flame is not more you than any other soul on this entire planet or in your existence, or doesn't even have to be on your planet, can be an angelic energy you connect to, or some of you think or do connect to starseed energy. So that is also energy that is available for you to connect to. So all that is part of your experience, but it is all part of yourself. It is basically your quantum bubble, and your soul shows some experience in some energy, some, let's call it blueprints or archetypical energy. Is that the right word? Archetypical? Some archetypes of energies to connect to. Some of those may be your star sign, like your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, your Venus sign, the astrology. Then there is Chinese astrology. Then you may have a totem. You may, like me, resonate with the energy of indigo children, or you may resonate with the energy of specific star seeds. All of that is just energies that we connect to, because there is no past life. Time doesn't exist. So it's not that we have been living on other planets in past lives, or I do connect to the soul archetype of the wise one, which means I resonated with spending many, like thousands of lifetimes on this beautiful planet as a spiritual teacher, spiritual coach, as a shaman, as a priestess, throughout all of the different cultures. That is how I saw myself in past lives. But now I understand, no, it's not really something that happened in my past lives. There's only now. It is energies I connect to. Another energy, of course, can be the twin flame template, the twin flame energy. Your soul chose to go through this specific journey, this awakening, healing, ascending, transformation journey that got triggered by another person. So your twin flame, soulmate, specific person, label doesn't even matter. Any romantic partner you've had in the past, all of them, is nothing but a projection of your own inner divine feminine if you are a divine masculine, or your own inner divine masculine if you are a feminine. And I'm saying feminine and masculine and not female and male, because it's about the energy, not the gender. This also explains why twin flames have many similarities when it comes to their past experiences. One example would be, even though the twin flames do have differences, like one person comes from a poor family, one comes from a rich family. The poor family mom was absent because she had to work a lot, and the rich family mom was absent because, she was traveling or also working a lot, and there was a nanny. So both of them made the same experience of mom was not there and created the same core wound that usually forms the anxious and or the avoidant attachment style, which is like the twin flame running and chasing. So there is a lot of similarities. Why? Because the other person is your inner feminine or masculine. So when you have experienced something, let's say in your childhood, then it's not just your inner child that experienced this situation, but also your own inner feminine and your own inner masculine got programmed in this stage. So let's say you are the feminine, just because most of the viewers are the feminines, but you can of course switch it around. So you are the feminine and you have been through some hard stuff, which means your own inner masculine, the yin yang, The black part is the yin part. That part has the white dot, the yang within herself. And that is basically what it is. We do have that masculine, that inner masculine within ourselves. But if you have experienced something, that part of you has experienced the same thing because it is part of you. And that is then getting pushed out, and you attract somebody who is mirroring that back to you, which means you attract somebody who has the same wound, or at least somewhat similar. Your divine masculine is nothing but a 3D projection of the energy that is already inside you. That explains also why we cannot fix them. We cannot try to talk them into this relationship. We cannot manipulate them because they are a projection of your own inner masculine. If that is not healed, if you didn't put the attention on your inside, it is not getting mirrored back on your outside. But it automatically means when you heal your inner masculine, then they have to change as well, or they get replaced. And that may have happened in the past. You took a little step on your journey, and I'm not just talking about the twin flame journey right now, but your dating history. And maybe you overcame some patterns, or you didn't. If you didn't, then you attracted the same thing in another person again, because your inner masculine didn't change. So in the 3D, maybe the person changed, their face changed, but it's still the same energy. You still get confronted with the same things, the same issues. But when you took a step on your journey, then you either would have seen that person you've been with growing with you, or you would have attracted a new person that mirrored you, your own inner progress, and so on and so on and so on. And at one point you have cleared enough energy to actually attract a divine counterpart. And if you are a twin flame, then that divine counterpart may be a twin flame. As I always say, twin flames are not better than other connections. It's just a different journey. So the label is not important when it comes to ranking this true love. It is important to see what journey you are dealing with. So what is the difference between just any soulmate or any soul connection and a twin flame? If everyone is you pushed out, if every romantic connection has always been a mirror of your own inner divine masculine, well, it's the blueprint. That is why I'm so adamant about different type of soul connections, because they come with different energies. You know, a soul twin is someone where, if you look at astrology, you may have a lot of trining energy. It's usually a very harmonious connection of true love, where you are very similar to one another, and that can easily be confused with twin flames. Then there's mirror souls that are a lot like you, even more like you, which can be a bad thing if you're still unhealed, because they have these same bad qualities. And it can be a very good thing if you have been involved, because then you attracted somebody with the same good qualities. Usually those connections are not so big for the development journey, because we need differences in order to develop. A soulmate could be any energy. It could be very similar to you. It could be very complementary to you. It could be something that might at the first glance not be the right fit, but then you make it happen because you work on the connection and it's still true love. You know, the soulmate, it's like a wild card. It can be anything. It is just something that can be, typically very beautiful, or if you're way off, then it could be a karmic, and then it's not as easy. A split twin connection. I do explain it in depth in the Science of Soul Connections in Astrology playlist. Usually has many opposites than you do, and still some sameness. So they are very different in many regards, but very much the same in others. And this journey is usually for the healing. And then there's the rare kind of monadic twin flames. We have a different type of yin-yang energy that I explain in the Science of Soul Connections in Astrology playlist. They're not more you than any other soul, but it's the template of this connection due to the similarities like we have with these soul twins. Like a soul twin is not like a twin soul, twin flame. A soul twin, as I said, can be easily confused with twin flames. But the journey is different. Still, they feel very similar to your own energy. But then a twin flame, you have more the yin-yang energy going on, and it is connected to that healing. So you attract someone that have a very similar vibration, or very oppositional, but still complementary. Because a split twin flame would be your perfect match. So even though this connection is not stronger than another one, because they're just a projection of your own inner masculine, this template was built to be perceived as, oh my God, this is the other half of my soul. This is my person. It's them, it's them, it's them. It's a projection onto the other person, as we always do, even if it's like the first crush, we always do that. But it's just a template. And it's a beautiful template. So don't be, I know I'm kind of like de-romanticizing twin flames right now, and also like to romanticize twin flames like, oh yeah, we spent thousands of lives together and I've been looking for you all that time. But again, time doesn't exist. So if time doesn't exist, I couldn't have been waited for that person for thousands lifetimes. It is all in the now, but it is programmed to be felt this way because, like the donkey with the carrot, this kind of connection is there to give you great spiritual healing and transcendence. And so you need to have this stronger feeling of, oh my God, this person is the strongest thing ever, and you have this inner urge to get that union that is happening within you because it is a projection of your own inner feminine or masculine. So union has to happen inside first. When you clear that childhood trauma that turns your inner masculine into the distorted masculine and your feminine into the distorted feminine, and you turn them into the divine energy within you, that is what's getting mirrored back on the outside. And if it is your twin flame you want, then only because the universe says yes, you can have it. The universe doesn't give you any desire that you cannot fulfill or receive. We just have to do the work and get out of our way. So yes, you are your own twin flame because it is your own inner masculine. The 3D is just a projection. But then you can say, yes, this is your twin flame because that soul or that person that you manifest into your life has a specific frequency that, as I said, is either very complementary to yours, like the split twin flames, because there's opposites and you complement each other and you have same energy, or it's like the monadic twin flames and you have this complementary yin-yang energy. So yes, they are your twin flame. If you have that energy, if you didn't label them falsely, which happens quite a lot. As I always say, a twin flame, yes, it is romantic love. It is not platonic love, but foremost, it's the journey to find inner union. That's the more important part for your soul, and union comes secondary. But union is possible, otherwise you wouldn't have that desire to have that union. So the answer is kind of like a yes and a no. Are you your own twin flame? Yes, but they are too, because they are the 3D experience of what's happening within yourself. And they have that specific frequency that is the perfect match for you. If you want to know more about that, please check out the long video about different types of soul connections. I explain it there in depth. And if you're really into astrology, then check out my Signs of Soul Connections in astrology videos, where I explain everything about the yin-yang and the difference between split twin flames, soul twins, and monadic twin flames. I do have really in-depth videos on that. So don't freak out when I say, yes, your own twin flame doesn't mean that your other person is not. But you cannot get union by trying to manipulate the outside. It has to come from within. You have to heal that inner distorted feminine and masculine so they can heal them. But also see them as somebody who has the ability to heal, because again, they are the projection. Don't focus on them and their healing journey. It's just a projection. Focus on your own stuff. When you make peace with everything that has happened to you, then your person will grow with you. It's as simple as that. Well, if you need help with that, you can reach out. My contact information is below. Check out my other content. Find me on social media, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Or I see you in another video. Well, if this video helped you, then please help me by liking, sharing, subscribing, hitting the bell icon. And yeah, share this video, because we are a twin flame collective. We are all connected and we want to help other people grow, right? It's good for ourselves as well. And if this video helped you a lot and you want to leave a little tip, my PayPal is below. And yes, I do see you in another video or in personal coaching. Until then, I do wish you all the best now. Bye-bye.